What are our reactions to Super Bowl 52? Who won the Chiefs-Redskins trade? Where will Kirk Cousins end up next season? Did Josh McDaniels really make the right decision in turning down the Colts job? And where will the Pelicans be after the Mirotic trade? All of these questions answered and more on this week's episode of The Breakdown.
Welcome to this week's episode of The Breakdown. I'm Mike.
And I'm Austin.
And, man, another great week in sports. And with the big one obviously being the Super Bowl happened. So I got to ask, what is your reaction to Super Bowl 52?
What an offensive showdown, man. This was a shootout. I kind of expected it to be more of a defensive matchup, but it is what it is, and both teams really came out ready to score the football, moving up and down the field. Great offensive game plans by both teams. Tom Brady, 505 yards passing, had a fantastic game at the age of 40. But, man, I want to talk about my dude, Nick Foles. Unbelievable job by this guy. Backup quarterback, savior of Philadelphia, my man, leading this team to a Super Bowl after what happened to Carson Wentz being a backup. Man, he was threading the needle last Sunday.
Nick Foles looked like a top 10 quarterback in
He
that
did.
game. He looked phenomenal, and I was in awe watching the game. I couldn't believe it. I was just watching it. I was like, is this Nick Foles, or am I watching Tom Brady playing for the Eagles right now? It was insane, and believe it or not, that game had the most total yards in any football game of all time. Most, like, a combined total yards. That's ridiculous. Like you said, offensive showdown without a doubt. The running game was huge for Philadelphia, and Corey Clement was huge out of the receiving game as well, having that big touchdown for them. It was just a great performance by Philadelphia. The defense obviously didn't show up, neither did the Patriots, and definitely the big question mark for the Patriots: why bench Malcolm Butler in that situation?
Yeah, man, I think you could say that Malcolm Butler benching had an effect on this game, but to me, I don't think so. The way Nick Foles was placing the football all over the field, he was putting it in spots where only his receivers can get it, and I just think that, like you said, Corey Clement having a big game out of the backfield, 4 catches, 100 yards, and that long touchdown pass from Nick Foles. That throw on that touchdown pass was one of the best throws I've ever seen by a quarterback in my lifetime.
Yeah, that was a great throw, and I don't think the Malcolm Butler thing would have had a huge impact. I didn't mean it in that, but just thinking like maybe there's a few plays if he's out there.
Yeah, I can see maybe a few plays like the Alshon Jeffrey catch on that.
A lot of
that
those.
bomb.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of those things.
Yeah.
Like I said, if Philadelphia would have still scored a lot of points, I think so. But I think just from a veteran standpoint, he's been in the Super Bowl. He knows how it is. I think it might have been a mistake, but who knows? Maybe he would have played worse than Eric Rowe did. So I don't know. That's just me. But what a great game from Nick Foles. And I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. Is he still at the back of Philadelphia next year?
No, I think somebody's going to trade for him. Look for a team maybe like the Jets or the Cardinals or even the Buffalo Bills. Some team like that could make a run at this guy. I think Buffalo makes a lot of sense because they don't really have a top draft pick this year, and they don't have a chance to go get a quarterback. I know they do want to move on from Tyrod Taylor.
They showed that trying to move on, but they decided to go back because they want to make the playoffs.
Right. So I can see them maybe making a move at Nick Foles.
Maybe giving up I think somebody's going to give up a second round.
I think so too. I think that's the market for him right now. Now, I do want to say this. I think he had a great game. I'm not taking anything away from Nick Foles, and the way he played in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl is undoubtedly him playing like a great quarterback and showing up and being what they need him to do. But I do think that Nick Foles is a system guy, and what I mean by that is I think the reason why he is very successful in this offense is because of Doug Peterson. It's kind of a spread system. I know his best year of his career came in that season we took Philly to the playoffs a couple years ago, and they had Chip Kelly as coach, and they ran a spread system. So I think the spread system, his footwork's not really good. So under center, having those drop back passes is not really his thing. So I'm just kind of concerned that if he goes to a place that's not really a good fit, that he can go back to into backup role and not really play well
and not really shine under that. Yeah, I think he needs to be in the right situation, or he's going to be back to being the Nick Foles. He proved shotgun. That's him all day. He's gonna he can make with a good team around him and a good offensive line. He can be successful.
And he makes big time throws from the shotgun. He's able to get his balance and get his feet set.
Yeah, so definitely a great Super Bowl. But moving on here, the one thing I want to talk about, the most surprising thing that happened, I think, this week was the Kansas City Chiefs trading Alex Smith to the Redskins. So, who do you think won that trade?
That's pretty easy. The Kansas City Chiefs won this trade. What the Redskins gave up for Alex Smith is unbelievable. They had to be nuts. Are they out of their minds? This guy is up in age. You know, he's just a game manager. I know he had a good season last year, but he's never taken a team, deep in the playoffs and taking a team to, where they could be a Super Bowl contender. His years in Kansas City, he's had some good seasons, but they always lose in the first round. And their quarterback, Kirk Cousins, a young guy, I know he's under he's going to be a free agent this year, but man, I just, third round pick, and then they gave a cornerback for him. That's just outrageous.
A young cornerback, coming off a really good season with Kendall Fuller.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
The trade, I think, I understand it because they must have felt that they couldn't keep Kirk Cousins. I understand the trade. The extension they gave him is what I have a problem with. The trade for him, I get it, understandable. You felt like, and it's good for the Chiefs because they have Patrick Mahomes,
right?
Which
it's great for the Chiefs.
They planned on having Mahomes on the bench for a year to sit back, learn the offense, and now it's like, all right, he sat for a year. Now he's our guy. Time to move on from Alex Smith and give it to the young guy who we think could take us over the top of the playoffs. But giving him, 4 years, $94 million, $71 million guaranteed, the third most ever by a quarterback in NFL history. It's like, it's Alex Smith we're talking about here, getting the third most ever guaranteed money.
Yeah.
I don't think he's worth that.
No, he's not.
I don't think he's worth that whatsoever. And I think that was the mistake. It was giving him that huge contract.
And when you look at his age too, the 4 years just doesn't add up.
No, because he already has 1 year, so you figure it's basically a 5-year contract. Yeah. He's going to be 38 when this deal comes up. So
I think they're going to regret this deal. I think the Redskins are going to regret this deal because look for Kirk Cousins to go somewhere else now that he's available. It's
going to be hard for him to put, you're still going to be able to put talent around him, but you're really going to go hard in the draft now. And losing that third-round pick, I felt they could have just drafted a quarterback and built around them instead of going this route.
Yeah, me too.
Like I said, you could have still traded for him and maybe sign him like a 2-year deal extension. I would have been like, all right, there's space for the temporary.
When you make a trade like this, you got to make a trade like this assuming that your team's going to get better as a result of the trade. The Redskins didn't get better. They declined. They got a player that's not really, to me, at Kirk Cousins' level with Alex Smith. He's a good quarterback, but to me, I think arm talent-wise, Kirk Cousins is better than Alex Smith, and he's younger.
Kirk Cousins is in that 5 to 7 range.
I think so. Top 10 quarterbacks.
Alex Smith, I see more in that 10.
I think 10 to 15.
10 to 15 range.
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, something must have made them feel that we're not gonna be able to keep Kirk Cousins, so we gotta go make a move.
No, that's why they made the trade. But like I said, their team didn't get better. So why give up a 3rd-round pick and a good young cornerback for a guy that's not going to really make y'all better?
Better to struggle this year and just get a high pick next year. Maybe get your quarterback next year.
Right. Yeah.
But
speaking of Kirk Cousins, where do you think Kirk Cousins is going to end up this year? Now that this trade has happened.
I'm going to go with a team that you look at them and you look at recently. They have the defense to be a really great team. All they needed was a quarterback. I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos.
All right.
I think it makes sense for them because, they still have a lot of great defensive players on that team. I do think a couple of the guys are getting older, maybe, get away from them and maybe, address in the draft. But I think he would be a perfect fit for them, and he would take them back to be, I don't know, am I saying they're going to be in the Super Bowl the first year? No. Of course, he's got to get adjusted with everybody. Yeah. But I think it would definitely make them contender faster than
I think with the Broncos, that would be a good fit because, they already have a decent running game with C.J. Anderson, and he hasn't really been able to capitalize on some of those opportunities as of late because of their lack of quarterback play.
I was about to say, I think the reason he didn't have a great year is because they would stack the box.
Right.
It's we're not scared of Paxton Lynch, Trevor Siemian, or Brock Osweiler.
Exactly. So you give him Kirk Cousins, you start opening some running lanes up for him, and then those receivers like Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, they're going to be back. They're going to be back if they get a quarterback like Kirk Cousins.
Yes. You look at the year they had when Peyton Manning was there. Not the last season. I'm talking about the years before that, the seasons they were having with Peyton Manning.
Exactly.
I think they'd be back to that stature.
They would be back to that stature, especially Demaryius Thomas. Demaryius Thomas is talented. He's one of the best receivers, talent-wise, in the NFL.
The numbers don't show because of the quarterback play he's had to deal with.
Exactly. So I do think Denver's a good fit. But, the team that I'm most intrigued by, which – it could be argued whether he goes there or not, but the team that's most intriguing, and I feel like you have to look at it, is Kirk Cousins to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know they committed to Blake Bortles a couple weeks ago saying he's the guy who's going to get another opportunity next season, but how do you not do your due diligence and actually give Kirk Cousins a look? Kirk Cousins would make this team an instant Super Bowl contender. If he goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars, they are immediately my Super Bowl pick for next year. So, the way the season they had this year with their defense as good as it is, and their young running back, Leonard Fournette, having a great season, even with poor quarterback play, if they get a guy like Kirk Cousins, just think of the possibilities. And then you get Allen Robinson back and have a quarterback that can actually throw to Allen Robinson, you're looking at a team that's going to be very, very dangerous next year in the AFC.
And they already are dangerous.
They already are, but I just think that puts them over the top.
I do agree that he would put them over the top, but I felt the Jaguars are. I think they're like persistent on sticking with.
I mean, I know they said that, but they also said that before this trade happened.
I know, but I think with Tom Coughlin being on the helm, I think he's a man of his word and won't back away. And I do agree that look, he said that before this whole thing with Kirk Cousins. But I think they're going to stay with Blake Bortles because I think they're going to look at the picture and like, look, we were this close to going to the Super Bowl with Blake Bortles as our quarterback.
Yeah, you can see it.
And like I said on the week up, I was like, the reason I think they didn't beat the Patriots is because they were too afraid to have faith in Blake Bortles, even though he was having a good game. So maybe he takes the next step next year. I don't know because he's so inconsistent in a lot of games. And would he make them a better team? Absolutely. I mean, like you said, if he were to go there though, they my pick for the Super Bowl next year, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
With that defense and that all those offensive weapons.
Because let's get real here. The Patriots are they have Belichick, Brady, but they got to get better.
Yes, they
got to get better,
especially on defense.
Definitely defense. You're gonna lose Malcolm Butler, obviously, because of what happened with the whole situation getting suspended, and he's also a free agent, so he's definitely gone. So the Patriots definitely have to get better. So look for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Take the helm as the best team in the AFC, even without Kirk Cousins. But like I said, I think that management, all you got to do is just give them a look and think about it. What kind of deal can make this team, take the next step? And I think Kirk Cousins can make them take the next step.
I think so too. But definitely waiting to see. We're definitely going to be keeping an eye on that and moving on here. But talking about something that really is recent, and I'm still in shock when it happened, did Josh McDaniels, did he make the right decision turning down that coach job?
It's hard to say that he made the right decision when you turn down an NFL head coaching job. But I do think he made the right decision. The Indianapolis Colts are a big rebuilding team, and I think they need a guy that's kind of going to be a rental for them and have them in the right mindset. Josh McDaniels' talents needs to go to somewhere that he can, a team that's already been around the playoff and the playoff hunt, but do need a coach that can take them over the next level. So I think he needs to wait for the right opportunity for him. So I think this was a good decision by him to wait for the right opportunity. I don't like the fact that he said he was going to be the coach though, and then backed out at the last minute. I think that was very shady.
He didn't even tell the coaches he hired. I heard he didn't even tell them.
Yeah, I think that was very shady. So as far as that goes, I didn't like the way he handled it, but I do think that this is another right opportunity for him because when he was in Denver a couple of seasons ago, he had some really good years there, and the reason why he was fired is because he drafted Tim Tebow. But even with Tim Tebow at the quarterback, he made the playoffs. So this guy has talent as a coach, and I think he's going to find the right situation for him and make a team a contender one day.
Honestly, you want to know why I think he stayed? Because I don't know if anybody heard, but Robert Kraft gave him a nice little bonus for staying.
Yeah.
He apparently talked to him and enticed him to come back. I think Robert Kraft told him, look, Belichick's the coach for one more year, then it's going to be your job.
I can see that happening.
I think that might have been what happened.
Because I think Belichick's starting to you can start seeing it in his face, some of his body language and the way he acts on the sidelines and in press conferences. I think he's getting kind of old and he's getting kind of tired of just the everything that's going on with the media and then the Patriots having so much success. Everybody wants to attack them for different reasons, and their players are rebutting against them because they feel like they need to get paid and all this. So I think that within the next couple year or year or two, I think that Belichick could hang it up and Josh McDaniels would definitely be the right guy for them.
I think so. I think because that offense is very successful under him as being the coordinator. I mean, you see it. It's not the offense's fault they lost this Super Bowl. It was their defense's fault.
Exactly.
So I think that's why I think he stayed. Now, I don't agree how he handled it whatsoever. I think that was very unprofessional to tell a team you're going to take the job and then at the last minute decide, I don't want to do the job anymore. And then at the same time, not telling the guys you hired that you turned down the job. They have to find out through other people that you turned down the job. So I think it was very unprofessional. And then I can see why the Colts are definitely angry. They thought they had their coach, and now their GM came out today and was like, yeah, the rivalry's back on after this, which is definitely is. Even though the Colts don't have a great team, it's very interesting to see the next time they play each other. They're going to be
the rivalry's like the GM said, the rivalry's back on.
Yeah, so the way he handled it.
I think it's better for football, too, for them to have the rivalry. The Colts, Patriots, those Peyton Manning, Tom Brady days, everybody remembers those games. So I think it's better for football. It's a better game if those two teams are contending.
I think so. There were some fun games when those teams were going back and forth.
So hopefully the Colts can get back on that level.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to wait and see, and just got to hope Andrew Luck gets healthy for their sake.
Yeah. So moving on to basketball, I want to ask you, I'm a Pelicans fan, but I want to ask you, where do the Pelicans go from here after they traded for Nikola Mirotic?
I think it was a good trade, and this is why I think it was a good trade. Is it really going to help this year? No. I mean, it might keep them in the playoffs. They might, like I said, they might put them as an 8 or 7 seed, but next year, having him for you think if the Pelicans re-sign Boogie, you're gonna have Drew, Boogie, AD, and Mirotic coming off the bench. That's a nice little big four you got right there.
Yeah.
So for this, I think it's gonna be huge for next year. If, of course, Pelicans re-sign Boogie, they gotta re-sign Boogie. If they don't, I don't think it really makes a big deal. I mean, it's great having guys that average 16 and 8. Like anytime you have a guy like that,
Right.
it's great to have him on your team. So I think it's good for the Pelicans. Like this year, it's going to help them stay in the playoffs, I think, with his scoring and kind of help them make up for what they're losing with Boogie. But I think next year, that's the year that I think if it could really make a big, huge impact.
I definitely agree with what you just said. You made a lot of good points. And like we talked about on last week's show, we broke it down they were kind of talking about the trade. It didn't really go through yet. At that time, it had fell through. It was kind of like in limbo. But we kind of talked about what the impact would be. And this guy, he spaces the floor. He's a great three-point shooter. Watching him play, you realize he has other aspects of his game that are very useful. With the Pelicans, he can drive it. He can handle the basketball. He's a good rebounder. He builds a lot. He plays with a lot of energy, and he builds confidence in his teammates with the ball movement that he creates when he's in the game. So I think it was a home run hit for the Pelicans. They got rid of Omer Ashe's contract.
That was huge.
That was huge. Which, if you look at money wise, him and Mirotic have the same deal, but it's a big upgrade. Talking about money, what you're getting for your money, and this guy, he can play. I'm just letting anybody that's a Pelicans fan watch the Pelicans game. This guy can hoop, and like you said, is it gonna make a big difference this year? I think it's gonna make a little difference and keep them in the hunt and keep them in the playoffs. But I'm looking forward to next season, man. If we get DeMarcus Cousins back, this team is going to be loaded. Get a couple other bench guys to go around them, but you have Mirotic as your main six-man off the bench who has versatility to also play the three, and you put him in a lineup in a three-man rotation with AD and Boogie, you're looking at big threes. And also, Cheick Diallo playing good basketball right now. If he develops and continues to develop for next year, you have your four-man rotation for the front court. You're looking at a team that could crack the top 5 in the Western Conference.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. And Diallo of late has shown a little bit of a development.
Yeah, I just think the thing with Diallo is he just needs to get game reps where he can build confidence, and he hasn't really had a chance to get opportunities and get minutes in games. With Boogie going down, he's had to step in and get quality minutes, and he showed. I mean, he had a double-double the other night against, I think it was Minnesota. He had a double-double 10 and 10 off the bench. So I think this guy brings a lot of energy to our team, and I think adding Mirotic with Diallo is going to bring a lot of energy to that second unit next season.
I absolutely agree. So without a doubt, definitely the year to be excited for is next year.
Absolutely.
Both our opinions. But to close out our show, great show as always. Who's your star of the week, man?
Gotta go with my man, Nick Foles. Like we talked about at the beginning of the show, the way this guy stepped up. I know it says stud of the week, but this guy has been the stud of the last couple weeks for this Philadelphia Eagles team. Carson Wentz goes down, this guy steps in. Everybody doubted him. I doubted him. You doubted him. The whole world doubted him. They believed in each other. They believed in themselves. And they worked hard to get to where they are. And Philadelphia won themselves a championship. Quick stats, Nick Foles, 28 of 43, 373 yards, and 3 touchdown passes in the Super Bowl against Tom Brady. Man, this guy showed up, throwing the ball over the yard. Give this man some credit. Good job, Nick Foles.
Took down an empire.
Yep.
So good for him, definitely. And my stud of the week is actually 3 guys. As like one is the running back core of the Philadelphia Eagles, because as a whole they were just great, phenomenal. Like LeGarrette Blount, 14 carries, 90 yards, and a touchdown. Jay Ajayi, 9 carries, but for a hard 57 yards. And the big guy, Corey Clement, man, 4 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown. A huge touchdown in the second half.
Supporting cast really showed up.
Supporting cast really showed up, and I just think they were a huge part of why. Obviously Nick Foles is definitely the reason, but I think without this running back core, Patriots might have had a slight edge above them. So definitely for me, the running back core play was huge. If you watch the game, you understand why they were my studs of the week. So without a doubt. But another thing. As always, close show. Who's your shout out of the week?
Shout out just to everybody who's continuing to support us and watch our show. We're doing the best we can. We love what we're doing. We're having a good time. Me and Michael love doing this every Wednesday. We hope you enjoy listening. We've made our show short, so please go check them out. Check out last week's show. Check out the week before. I don't care. They're all good shows. Go check them out. Just stay tuned for more. We're getting ready to do some big things.
Yep, absolutely. Stay tuned. Big things in store. We're not going to stop. This is going to keep on going. Like you said, we have a lot of fun doing this, and we don't plan on stopping.
So, you're going to sing Fly, Eagles, Fly?
I will do a little part. I'm just definitely say, Fly, Eagles, fly.
Go Eagles, baby.
And as always, good night, America.